Hey, what's going on, everybody? The Sammy J here with Mental Edge. So I got an exciting, awesome guy joining me today, and I'm going to tell you why. First thing, I'm going to ask him one question right up front. His name is Josh Kosnick. Josh, how you doing today?
Doing fantastic, Sammy.
But before we get into you and how much of an awesome person you are and all that great stuff, I found out through the grapevine that you are a Chicago Bears fan.
Yeah, Chicago Bears, all Chicago, Cubs, not Sox, and then the Wisconsin Badgers are my lone Wisconsin team. So I reside in enemy territory. I reside in Packerland.
Gotcha. See, now I'm from outside of St. Louis, so I'm a Bears fan. Grew up watching Walter Payton, loved him. I can't get with you. I am a Cardinals fan, so
yeah, I knew you were going to say it. I knew
you
as soon
know,
as you went in that.
this is where all the cool people hang out, but it's okay. We won't hold that against you. But no, that when I seen that you was a Bears fan, I said, oh yeah, I got to talk about that.
Yeah.
So
I fell in love with the same team you did.
No, anybody. You don't even have to be a Bears fan to fall in love with the 85 Bears and what they achieved and what they did and just the excellence of that team.
And the swagger in which they did it with. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Oh yeah. What was it? The Bears, the song that they sung.
The Super Bowl shuffle.
It was. You look now and you go, "Oh my God, they were so stupid," but
they
were cool.
Bad.
Oh yeah,
but it played.
That's right, and they were. Yeah, it was awesome. So, all right, well, we'll quit talking about the Bears because I know all the Green Bay fans and the Minnesota fans are tuning out right now, and well, it happens.
Yeah.
So, Josh, tell me a little bit about you. What do you do nowadays?
So right now, doing leadership coaching and consulting, having a lot of fun impacting business owners, and financial advisors as well. I spent 17 years in the financial industry before making a change last year. So now it's just really impacting people as much as I can, helping business owners build leadership teams and a bench that can hopefully help them grow as a unit. And then hopefully there's at least someone that emerges someday that can buy that business from them as well. And we can guide, with my financial background, I can help guide people through that stuff as well. But I'm also working on a leadership retreat. We're residing in the house right now where some of that work's going to happen. I got 80 acres of beautiful land that I was just doing a ruck on actually before our conversation here. That I'm going to host people, especially some city folk, get them out in the country and experience some nature, get off these screens and really get better at being themselves.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. So just in what you said, there's so much that I can entail out of it. For one, so what made you go into the coaching? Like if you were doing that for 17 years, for one, what happened with it, if you don't mind me asking? And two, you hear about a lot of people that will, hey, so-and-so happened. I got out of working for a company, but then, so it would be like in your case, hey, I got something happened at this company and I just said, screw it. And I went and opened up my own company. So why not that instead of going this direction?
So that's a great question. How things ended was really unceremonious. It actually, I was taken out of my position. So first of all, I was the leader there. I was the managing partner at a financial firm. I owned the firm, but I knew that so there was an overarching company, a very large company that was over us, and I knew that I could be taken out if I wasn't performing. Well, that wasn't the case. We were performing quite well, up 30% during COVID across the board. I mean, really killing it. And out of nowhere, I was taken out and replaced. So there's some stuff I can't say, Sammy, but that's really what happened. So I was fired, I was canceled, and I had to reset things and refigure out what I was going to do with life. So I had actually no plans of ever leaving.
Yeah.
I was gonna run the company until I wanted to retire. Actually, 20 years. It would have put me at 56. At that time, had my plan gone to fruition. And you want to tell God a joke, tell him your plans, right?
Yeah. So
he
true.
had
So true.
he had other plans, and so I went through a little bit of darkness that summer. But what the gift was that was given to me, actually, there's many gifts that I'm starting to see. But one of the biggest ones is right when it happened, and as soon as I could pick my head up, I decided I was going to take the summer off because we weren't in a financial pinch by any means. And I was going to spend it with my kids. I got 4 young kids, 10, 8, 6, and 4. And with my family, we took the summer off and we had a great time together. Now, I was still working through some mental darkness because, my legs got chopped out from underneath me. And that was my family. Everyone in that firm had been recruited or developed either by my father or by myself. And so it was tough, but as I started seeing some of those gifts as the kids got back into school, and I, through a lot of prayer and counsel and just, through Arate Syndicate and meeting some great people and just saying yes to things and figuring some visualization planning out, like I still wanted to pour into people. That was number one. I need to fill my cup through pouring into others and helping them grow. So how can I do that as I'm kind of finalizing this legal battle that took about 6 months and figuring out my exit and what I'm going to do next? I just need to pour into people. And if I can do that through leadership consulting and coaching, great. And as I build up some of these other businesses, and I still haven't decided if I'm going to come back into the financial industry or not. But in the meanwhile, I'm going to have as much impact as possible. I'm going to build out this leadership retreat. I'm going to actually just continue to pour into people and see where things take me.
That man, that sounds heartbreaking, and at the same time, a blessing. I mean, I see where you're coming from. A lot of people, like, unfortunately, you found this new greatness in losing a job. A lot of people, I explain to them that they find their greatness after a heartache, a marriage that goes bad, losing a loved one, and it's hard. Like you said, you went through a mental battle there, even though you were enjoying time with your kids and your family and all. It's still, hey, I've got to get myself under control and know that I'm still here for a reason. So no,
and trusting God in that.
Yeah,
there's a lot of faith and trust in God in that, because I just kept saying, like, the pain that I'm experiencing, mental and emotional, it wasn't physical, it was mental and emotional. The pain that I'm going through has to be for a purpose. And to this day, I still don't know exactly what that purpose is. I'm starting to see the gifts in what happened. I still don't know what that purpose is, but I'm just clinging to that faith and knowing that there is going to be a purpose that comes from this pain. Maybe my influence wasn't meant just for the company that I was at.
Yeah.
The organization that organization that I was building, maybe my influence wasn't just meant to be just there.
Yeah.
And right now there's a lot of maybes. And I'll tell you, actually, one of the greatest gifts that came out of this, and you never think of this, Sammy. So I was the leader, I was on top, everyone wanted a piece of me, or I had all these relationships. One of the greatest gifts that came of this is I found out who was real and who wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as I was terminated, as soon as I wasn't the top dog, and I'm out there and, I'm fallen from grace or whatever you want to say, I found out whose relationships were real and who wasn't. And I can't tell you what a great gift that is.
Oh, yeah. It shows you where you were really at. The unknown of, thinking that Bob and Billy and whoever over here, man, they got my back no matter what. And then little bitty thing happens or whatever. And next thing you know, Bob and Billy are throwing the knife in your back. Yep. So no, that's, again, it's just, for me, I think you're finding your purpose, if I could be open about it. For me, it was like this, and I get where you're coming from, just a different point of view. I literally, one of the big things I speak on is I found the biggest amount of gratitude in my life. What changed my life for the good, as odd as it sounds, was the moment I held my mom's hand when she passed away.
Mm.
Because in that moment, I was overwhelmed with the gratitude that she doesn't have to live here anymore in pain and,
Mm.
go through the life. That's a whole nother story, but,
But it's
you know,
powerful.
yeah. And I found so much gratitude, and I learned in that moment that, and plus over time afterwards, that was her gift to me, to get up every morning and say, hey, thank you, Lord, just for allowing me to get up today. No matter what
Mm.
happens today, it could be raining, snowing, sleeting, whatever. Thank you, Lord, I'm awake today and I get to enjoy that. So, dude, I give you nothing but props, and would love to help you however I can, because it's fun finding your purpose, but at the same time, it's nerve wracking, you know.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
So
especially when it's a change, when you go like, I thought this was my purpose, and I thought this was what I was getting up for every day. And actually, I've seen this in my father. A lot of people go through this when they retire, especially type A people. So I'm assuming people listening to the Mental Edge podcast are type A, entrepreneurial driven or sales driven type individuals. My father went, as soon as the day he retired, he went from the top dog to nothing,
mm,
right? Now, outside looking in, I can be like, no, you're still my father. You're a grandfather. You have so much purpose. But to him, he went from having this purpose of driving this big organization to the next morning after retirement day to nothing.
yeah,
And it's been almost 5 years, and he's still not right in the head. Now we're getting him there, and I'm actually going to build a program with a neuroscientist to help retirees or soon to be retirees go through this and
that's very cool.
kind of graduate with grace from retirement or selling a business to the next thing, and kind of
Yeah,
work through some of the emotional and the mental stuff, because I just witnessed it firsthand with my father. It's like, you got us as individuals, we were born to have that purpose, and we got to continue going on. And I can't tell him what that is. I could say, Dad, pour into me as your purpose, pour into your
yeah.
grandkids as your purpose. And me telling him that doesn't work. He's got to find that in
Yeah.
himself.
And from my NLP experience, you're too close.
Mm-hmm.
You're too close to the emotions of him. So, it's like our wives can tell us something for a whole year. Hey, you should do this. Hey, you should do this. Hey, you should do this. And we go, yes, dear. Yes, dear. And we, okay, yes, I will. And then a year later, Josh could come over and say the exact same thing that my wife has told me for a year that I haven't done. And I go, dang, Josh, that's a great idea. And I start doing it. And your
Yeah.
wife looks at you and she goes, well, I've been telling you this for a year. She just, our brain says, we trust you, we love you, but we need to hear it from somebody else,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so no, that's an awesome program. I feel like what you made me think of was like sports people that have revolved their lives around not just professional athletes. I could see that program being something for, unfortunately, the college guy that didn't make the pros, and hey, they've spent since third grade playing football or basketball or whatever, and college is over and the dream's dead. The
I
purpose
was
that you
that guy.
thought
I was
was
that
you.
guy. So I understand that, Sammy. There are quite a few programs like that, and I know some great people that are doing it already. What I have not found is one for retirees. And so
Yeah,
not to say that that idea, or college guys or NFL guys or whatever it might be, may not go through the program that we create, but there are actual programs for that out there. I have not found one yet for retirees.
retirees.
Right.
Okay, no,
So, and what
that's
you touched on there is really interesting, because it made me think of it is identity, right? And this is when I stopped playing college football. So the two times in my life that I've, I won't say that I was depressed, because I feel depression is a chemical imbalance of the brain. I was going through a depressive state in these two times. So I didn't require medication, but I did require counseling and other stuff to get me out of that depressive state. One was last summer, I already told you about. The other time was college when I stopped playing football. And the reason was because my identity was as a college football player, not as a child of God, not as a student, not as anything else. My identity was a college football player. Now, fast forward to last summer, my identity was the managing partner of this financial firm. My identity was this firm that I had been building for 17 years and the company that I had been building it for. I had to now that identity gets stripped away from you. And so same for my father going through that retirement thing, his identity was stripped away from him. His purpose was stripped away from him. So we got to make sure that we're centering our identity on God, or if you're not a faith-driven person, on something else other than a title.
Yeah, no. So this new identity is going to be based mainly in leadership, right?
Well, I would say this, my new identity is, and it really was my only identity I ever should have had, was just a child of God and fulfilling his purpose for me. Now, what I go and do with that and the gifts that he gave me will be in the leadership retreat space and helping leadership teams grow, helping leaders grow and fulfill their greatest purpose. So I believe my unique gifts and talents can bring out the best your best unique gifts and talents. That's really what I want to do.
So, and I own a couple businesses, not big, nothing extreme, but at the same time, I still have to provide leadership, different things. So what are 2 or 3 different tidbits that you would give any business out there? I would say probably smaller businesses. What are some just, hey man, make sure you're doing this?
No, that's a great question, Sammy. I would say that smaller businesses, and I sometimes catch myself saying this as well, because small is relative. You may have one employee, but you may be doing, $20 million in business. Like that's not small potatoes, right? So small is relative, medium is relative. What I don't want to do in my business is work with executives too much. Now, if there is the right person, right fit, great. But I've had enough of the corporate world. And after what, I'm a little jaded right now as well. And what happened to me, I'll be honest. So I don't want to deal with executives because they have ulterior motives. I want to deal with that small to medium-sized business owner that's family run, or just good people that's growing something from the ground up, like you have done. So the 2 or 3 tidbits I give is continue to pour into your people, no matter what. One of the things that I learned over the time, and I worked as a financial advisor, I worked with a lot of business owners, helping them. One of the things that I noticed and saw is that they would get their egos in the way if someone would come close to them in salary, or if they would get their egos in the way if they think that someone might leave their team. So the CFO goes, what if we pour all these resources into this person? What if we provide all these training resources and development resources, and then they leave? The smart CEO says, what if we don't train them and equip them and they stay?
Yes.
Right. So that's number one, is always develop your people and build that culture. So the people that you're recruiting and developing today on your team, they want to feel part of something bigger than themselves. Most of them don't care about the company that they represent so much. They care about the culture that they represent and what the culture is doing for them.
So before we get to number 2, what do you do? What would you suggest or coach with the leader or the company that wants to be all in on their sales team, and hey, we're going to bring in these people, we're going to start these new trends, we're going to pour into you guys? Here's what I hear and what I found: you get a lot of pushback from change. And people don't like change, and they say, oh man, I've been doing this 17 years, I've been doing this 20 years, I'm college educated, blah blah blah, whatever their excuse is. But boy, they fight that change, and they say, no. Now how would you recommend somebody dealing with that? Because that's a big thing, is people don't like change.
What happened to taxis?
Well, if you go to New York, no. Yeah, no, I they got reincorporated, I guess you'd say.
Well,
I'm not
no,
really.
Uber happened.
Yeah.
So every industry is fit for disruption. And so there's many other disruptors that have happened out there, right? Think about encyclopedias when you and I were growing up. There was door-to-door salespeople that would show up and sell us, what, 26 Britannica,
books.
26 Britannica encyclopedias.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that was the name of them, if I'm recalling correctly. That's taking us back to our Chicago Bear glory days, right? So you think about that, and then Wikipedia happens. No way is a site that you can alter, anyone can alter, going to overtake factual, 100% factual encyclopedia that you can have in your hands.
Mm.
And do you see any encyclopedia salespeople anymore? Do you see
Oh,
anyone
yeah.
in their home with encyclopedias? No. It's Wikipedia is what we go to, or we use the search engine with Google or DuckDuckGo or whatever it might be. Same with Uber and taxi, right? So what I would say to that person that says, this is the way we've always done it, or, I'm not fitting change, then you're going to be a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Like and what I would do is ask the question like I asked you to them, is most people don't like being told what to do, especially if they're type A, right?
Oh, yeah.
You and I are probably fit that model. I know I fit that model. I don't like being told what to do. That's why I like being the boss. However, if I can ask you questions, Sammy, that lead you to the answer I know is already true anyhow, and then it almost makes it their idea. I did this masterfully with my dad many, many years. Is he was the boss. And in his last couple of years, the only thing I didn't control was the checkbook. But I'm the one controlling every other piece of the organization. So I knew what was needed. He was detached for a couple of years. And but he had the checkbook, and that was his one area he could press his thumb down on me, right?
Oh, yeah.
So all I had to do is what I learned, instead of us getting into knockdown, drag out fights with each other behind closed doors, was make it his idea.
Boom.
Ask questions, and then as soon as it came out of his mouth, I'd be like, that is brilliant. That's why you're the man. I should have thought of that.
Now, I like that. I like that answer. No. Okay. Hey, what about number 2? That was good.
Number 2.
Man. That was real good.
Thanks. Number 2, I would say, is actually run strong financials. Don't live outside of your means. One of the things that I did that was smart, and especially how things that transpired last year, is I bought out a business from my father that was multi-millions. And I had to borrow money to do that. I didn't have it all sitting around. And I was very diligent about paying off those loans, and I didn't have to borrow any money in addition. So I didn't, even though my title and my stigma kind of increased, I didn't increase my lifestyle a bunch. Right. So I was in the house that I built before I became the owner. Pretty much the same car. I got a newer version of the car I was driving before. That was it. So I didn't upgrade my life a ton, and I kept reinvesting back into the business. And so all like in people and paying off loans. I was like growing people and paying off loans. And for 5 years, I knew if I did that and kept my nose to the grindstone, just kept growing, come year 6, oh, we're going to have a heyday.
Yeah.
Now I can upgrade life because it makes financial sense to do so, versus doing it to keep up with the Joneses because I got the title now. Now I should be at the country club driving a nicer car or whatever it might be. Those are all outside influences. Run good financials. Always.
Know your numbers.
Screw what everyone else says about this, or you should have that, or you should be doing this, or you see this Instagram influencer driving a Lamborghini. Fuck that. I don't know if I can swear on your show, Sammy, but
you surely can.
You can bleep me out if need be. But like,
no, you're good.
Fuck those influencers. Like, you're the influencer. As John Maxwell says, leadership is influence in its simplest form. And so you are the one setting the standard. If you're running good financials, your people are going to run good financials. If you're not living outside your means, they're not going to live outside their means.
Yeah. And I can see what you're saying right now. Everybody listening, check this out. Do this in your household as much as in your business, and you will see your household change immensely. your financials at home. You know, you want to buy that bigger house, the bigger car. You've got to do this. Even if you're just the employee working at the job, you have to do these exact what Josh is saying right now. You've got to do just that. Pay attention to the little things. And do I really need it? I ask that question all the time. Do I really need it? And if the answer is no, don't get it, you know,
Yeah.
and you will watch your whole life change. So, okay.
Do I need it or do I want it?
Yep. That's
It's a very important question.
Oh yeah. Don't tell my wife, but I have to do that with her a lot.
Well, I would tell you, and part of that advice, right, is I was in the financial industry for 17 years. Part of that, I was a financial planner for, 13 years of it. So that's where some of that advice comes from, because I've seen it done poorly a lot,
Oh, yeah.
So number three would be manage your ego as the business owner. So the third point would be manage your ego. And some of that, was stemmed from point one and point two, but I'll tell you a story about one of the clients I was helping, and not divulge any names or anything like that, because that's confidential. But I was helping a client that was a business owner, and I was helping them draft a buy-sell agreement and work with and some incentives for his top salesman. And they dealt with major sales. And so I don't want to say too much, because I don't want to give away too much information and people think about this, but the type of sales that they did was minimum 200,000, usually 2 million, up to $2 million of sales, as far as what the equipment they were selling. And the top salesman's flying all over the country in Canada selling. And that top salesman was doing so well and the company's booming that the top salesman started earning more than the business owner. Okay. Now the ego gets in the way. And now he starts disincentivizing. Now he starts changing the commission structures. And I had a closed door meeting with the owner, and I said, your salesman has zero ownership. Do you get what I'm saying? And he goes, so? And I said, he's driving the equity of your firm higher and higher and higher. He has no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Who gives a fuck what he makes? You should be paying him twice as much, because at the end of the rainbow, you're going to get 10x. But his ego, he was a former college football player at a D1 school. He's a big muscle guy. Like he drove the big truck with the big wheels. Like everything is big, 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 big. His ego was in the way, and that salesman ends up leaving and had a 1-year non-compete. But a 1 year later, he started his own company. The lesson of this is that company sold for $5 million. You may think that's a lot of money, but the projected revenue and growth on that 5 years later was 50 million. Had the salesman stayed there, had the salesman kept doing what you're doing, had the current. So, and someone may say, well, $5 million, I'd take that, but would you rather have 50?
Yeah, exactly. There you go. No, that's, I see ego a whole lot in, well, I've seen it in memes even, you see the, hey, if you do a good job again, the rest of this year, I can buy another Lamborghini, and that's, to me, I look at stuff like that and I'm just like, well, that's what makes you a crappy leader. And that's what makes you, you might be successful for a minute. Sounds like this owner was probably doing okay. But it's how much better could we be if you build up those around you? How cool of a company is it if you, as the owner, you've got the Lambo or whatever, you've got the mansion, but so do all of your top salesmen. So do, even just some of the other employees. So, because if you've done that, and leadership to me is bringing people up to that level. You going up a little bit more, bringing them up. You go up. You should always be one step better, whatever that might be. But at the same time, it doesn't have to be the financials. Like you could just be, hey, I know our next step of where we need to go. And it's okay if the employee, like you just said, if he's making a little bit more money, that's fine. I'm getting ready to go up here. And then I hope you want a successful company, pray and hope that your employees are doing just as well, if not better than you.
Yep. And again, at the end of the day, that's only going to help your equity upon transition.
Oh yeah.
So
So
I've given 3 lessons for the business owner. Can I give one for the employee?
yes, most
All right.
definitely.
You got to carry the crown before you can wear the crown.
Boom,
Okay.
boom. I wish I had a boom. I need to get a thing in here. Oh
So
yeah.
a lot of employees, especially the good ones, or it could have been, for instance, this this top salesman I was talking about. A lot of times those people get too big in their britches and they think they should be running things before they are. And they don't weigh in the experiences, the years and years and years of blood, sweat, tears, experience, life experience. That's why, like, you would think about it as like, how much do we treasure our grandparents' wisdom? Even if they didn't accomplish what you or I have accomplished, they have just wisdom for days from all the life experiences they've gone through. You got to think about that as an employee to your boss as well. There's wisdom there, and you got to be able to be fit to carry the crown, even if it's stuff you don't agree with the business owner or your boss. If you're not willing to carry it, you're not fit to wear it.
I like it. I like it. I actually, it's funny we're talking about this. I had an employee of mine come to me a few months ago, and he said, Sammy, hey, I want to help grow this company, which I was shocked at, because to hear employees say that, especially on a painting company, construction workers aren't usually in that mindset. Not saying they never are, but normally that's just not a common thing. You get an employee to come to you and say, hey, I want to help grow this company. What can we do? And so I took him out for supper and we just talked about things. And while he thought, hey, we just hire more people, we'll get more advertising, we can just grow it like that. Just hire more people. And I said, dude, okay, that's great. There's a lot of back stuff that you're not taking into consideration here, like payroll, insurance, workman's comp, taxes. Like there's so many. Now we've got more people. We need to make sure instead of doing 2 jobs a week, we're doing 5. So now that I've got to do more marketing and more investment in that, networking, and by the time we were done, he was blown away. That what you just said. While he just thought, hey, we hire more people, we make more money. I was like, and I gave him a look into the wisdom of the back door of everything that they don't see, and went, and he was blown away. But again, I really appreciated him just even coming to me, and so that was a neat experience, and it plays right into that. I mean, it's the wisdom of not,
and that's someone you want to pour into, right?
Oh, and I have.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, you want those, and I'll tell you something there. He exhibited humility in taking those lessons. I've dealt with people that have come to me with similar ideas and stuff of that nature, and were so narcissistic that even if I gave them that wisdom as to why it wouldn't happen, they weren't even trying to hear me.
Yeah.
And that's a good one you got there.
Yeah, no, and I'll tell you what I got out of it. I got my own humility out of it by having the mindset that said, who's this guy? Wait a minute. He's just an employee. What's he coming to me like this for? And thinking that these guys don't do this, So I actually exhibited some of my own humility in putting my beliefs on these people, not thinking back to 12 years ago when I opened up this company. That's what I did. And once I thought about it, I went to the owner that I was working for at the time, and I just said, hey, what's it really take to kind of run your own paint company? And he started, kind of doing what I did. And, at that moment, I'm pretty sure I was like, yeah, that's stupid. I'm not doing that. Then, fast forward 12 years and here we are. But, so tell me a little bit about this leadership retreat.
Well, tell you a little bit is we're going through a lot of stuff with, zoning and all the different crap that you go through as you're building things out. As you know, you're in the contracting space, but what we're trying to build out is something that we can detach from the hustle and bustle of the normal world. Like there's, as you're a business owner, as a high-end producer for a company, you're always in the mix, whether it's emails, client fires, vendor fires, pipeline issues because it's delayed from coming overseas. You're always in the mix. So coming to a retreat is actually a spot to get away from that. A spot to, what I like to say is step out of your business to work on your business, or to step out of your day-to-day life to work on yourself.
Hold on, Josh. Say that again, because everybody needs to hear that that's in leadership, management, or owner.
There's times you got to step out of your business to work on your business.
Boom.
Right.
Man, I really need a button.
We're good. Hey, maybe this show will inspire you to get a button.
There we go.
That'll be your new thing on there. But no, it's really cool because what you can do is, and I've done this, and Arate helps us do this, for I'm going to be down in St. Louis at the end of May. I'm stepping out of the business, spending some money to go get influenced by some really awesome people, network, and really dive deeper into thought. Some of the ideas that I've had for the retreat came from the last Arate meetup. Some of the ideas that has come from my study group, my mastermind of great friends that I have across the country. Every time I spit out an idea or something that's going through my head, they pile onto it, right? But if I'm not putting myself in those positions, I'm not learning and I'm not growing either, because we're too in the mix, too close to the forest to see the trees, right? So the retreat, no pun intended, we have 40 acres of woods here on top of 40 acres of other land, is to get you out of that element. And we're going to work on business, leadership, financials, health and nutrition, and spiritual. And again, spiritual, like I've said before, like I'm a man of God, but I like to meet people where they're at, and I'm going to create a space that's available for everyone. So it's all those different elements though play into who we are as a leader and who we are as a person. So I really want them to come together and work on those things at a place where they feel that they can be transparent and vulnerable and be able to work on themselves as a team, individually or as a team, I should say.
Yeah. So I got to ask, so you got 80 acres there. You're going to have this awesome, immaculate building, this and that. Do we have a fishing pond?
I got a stream, actually, and there's some trout that come up it as well. So there's Madison's based, there's 3 really big lakes in the center of Madison. And off of one of the lakes is a stream, a creek that runs through all my entire property. And as I was out rucking today, I was looking for trout swimming upstream. Haven't seen them yet, but they'll start coming up here pretty quickly.
Yeah. Will you get the rainbow trout up there?
I'm not sure, because I'm more of a hunter than a fisherman, but I'll have you come up, or one of my buddies come over here that knows what they're talking about, and they'll tell me what I got in there.
Hey, that'll work. Hey, I'll come up and do some hunting too. I ain't got no problem with hunting.
Do you do fowl deer?
Do you do fowl hunting too?
You can do a lot of fowl hunting here. My favorite is actually doing quail or pheasant hunting, and then I deer hunt in the fall.
There we go. You get any moose up there?
No moose. Moose are all up in Canada. We got some elk filtering down now from northern Wisconsin, but moose are all up in Canada still.
Yeah, I want to go see a moose for real.
I got one. I got one. I just went up above Superior, and then Lake Superior right above Wisconsin, and I got a beautiful moose up close. Man, they're majestic. I had one come. If we got time for a short story, I had one 200 yards away. And I had her in my sights, and I didn't know it was a cow at the time. She was dipping down, eating in this pond, and I'm sitting right on the bed by a tree that was overlooking the lake. So we had just shot a bull moose, and that's getting cleaned. And I radio in. I said, I got one in my sights. And I said, he or she. I stared for a little bit. It's a cow. Okay. Leave her be, the Canadian says. And so I put my gun down, picked my book back up, and about 5 minutes later, I hear splashing, and she is right in front of me.
Oh,
I mean, no more than 20 feet in front of me. And
holy
she
crap.
stops in her tracks and looks at me, and I slowly pick up my gun, and I put it here, and I turn the safety off, and then she just went back the way she came from. So I didn't have to do anything there. But man, my heart was racing because it's just massive.
Oh yeah, that's what I want to. Yeah, I'm into the big animals like the moose and this. On my bucket list, I actually, and I haven't done it. I got to get some people so we can go do it. I want to catch a fish bigger than me. That's
We
it.
got
So
some
it's gonna,
muskies up here that are not bigger, but could be longer, taller than you.
yeah. Well, now I've caught some spoonbill that were longer than me. I've caught some 6.5 foot spoonbill, but they were only 80, 90 pounds. I'm a little heavier guy. Not real heavy, but
You got
I'm
to go
around
deep
that.
sea fishing.
Yes, got to do some deep sea. Um, let's see, where was some? Oh, so this retreat. So how long is it going to be?
We're still figuring out the curriculum. I'm partnering with a neuroscientist on that. So it's not just my conjecture and experience. It's actually going to be based on brain science. So all the curriculum is going to be based on that. So any of the activities we do, if we choose to do shooting, if we choose to do a high ropes course, if we choose to do archery, if we choose to do paintballing outside, I mean, whatever activity we do beyond just the curriculum, we're going to have curriculum attached to it.
Very
And
cool.
what's going on in our heads and our bodies at the same time that we're experiencing what we're experiencing. So we're looking at 2 to 3 days as being the sweet spot, because obviously we all lead busy lives and we got to travel in and travel out. But I'm 15 minutes from the airport, so it's a really good spot.
Well, I've got a guy. So I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day, and as soon as you get this ready, we're going to try to get him kicked off and get him up there with you. For one, he is a business owner, but he's a city guy. And I remember you saying this right towards the beginning. So we got to talking. He's never been to a demolition derby. He didn't even know what a tractor pull was. Like, I'm like, see, I'm an old farm boy. Like, I grew up small town Missouri, just out tipping cows, and I'm good with that. He didn't believe you could really tip a cow.
Oh
And
yeah,
I said, oh
we
yeah,
know that in Wisconsin as well.
yeah.
We got about 20 chicks, baby chicks coming in 2 weeks. So we're gonna have the chicken coop just got built. We're gonna have a couple donkey, a couple alpaca. We have a major horse arena here.
Oh my God,
So the city folks are gonna get to experience some wildlife, and
that's
it'll be
awesome.
cool.
Oh my God, dude, I'm excited now. I want to come. Hey,
Well, you're
let me
welcome,
know.
brother.
Oh yeah, man, because oh jeez, like I say, I'm just an old redneck, so
Yeah, we can
you
have
gotta
some
have
fun.
fun.
My Ranger just came today. I got to muddy it up. I got a used Ranger, but he got it all cleaned up. It smells nice. I'm like, this is weird for a Ranger. I got to get it out.
Yes. There ain't no blood or mud or nothing on it. What the heck?
Yeah,
This ain't right.
got to dirty this thing up.
Oh yeah, definitely. Uh, Josh, is there anything you want to say in closing? Any more tips, tricks? Which is really no tricks, but
There's no tricks, but tips. There's tips for days. I would say, since this is the Mental Edge podcast, like really dive into exploring every different way you can take a mental edge. And I think health is one of the major ways that business owners tend to forget. Our health is our wealth. And so, you're on what, day 4 or 75 hard?
day 4, 75 hard. Yes.
I completed 75 hard about a month ago. I'm now on to phase 1. It's a game changer for mental edge. Mental edge. Yes, you'll get physically strong. I got bigger, stronger. I feel like I'm in as good a shape as I was when I was playing college football. But the mental thing, man, it is a game changer. This morning I took a 5-minute cold shower. After the first minute, I was good. I was just doing Wim Hof breathing exercises through it. But every different way you can find a mental edge, I think health is the often most neglected, especially with busy people, right? We're all busy. Busy is an excuse. 75 hard gets us out of making those excuses to actually figure out, hey, no, we can make health a priority. We can make our mental health a priority.
Yeah.
And us as men really need to start doing that. And you in the blue collar country industry, you're from the country, you're in a blue collar industry and stuff like that, and you're around those people, I would be pouring in to them on the mental health side of things. I'm sick and tired of going to funerals of my depressed friends or people that I've lost family members. I've lost friends to suicide. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done with it. We as men need to man up and take care of our mental health and take care of our physical health. That would be my last tip.
Amen. Holy crap. Amen. Amen. I mean, so like I say, yeah. So for everybody that don't know what 75 hard is, literally go look it up. It is a life changer, just like Josh said. Josh was saying he was in phase 1. So there's 3 brief overview. There's 3 phases. They call it live hard. Go look it up. It will change your life, guaranteed. So I decided, hey, last week I decided, hey, I'm going to start this week. Boom, let's get this thing going. Sent out a little message to some people who else wants to start. Got like 5 people that are doing it also. And in just a messenger group. They're actually from, well, this particular lady yesterday messaged me and she said, Sammy, or in the messenger, she said, hey, I've got to start over at day 1. I didn't
That's
do
okay.
yeah, and it was okay.
That's integrity.
Yes. But here's what I wanted her to understand, because she said, I didn't do my second workout. I missed it. So my message back to her was, did you miss it? Like you forgot about it? Or did it get too late and you just said, I don't want to do it? Because I wanted her to hold herself. The biggest thing I get out of 75 hard and live hard, the whole thing, is the accountability of it. And she messaged me back and she was honest. She said, it was 9 o'clock. And I just said, nope, I don't want to do it. It's too late. And I said, that you want to know what 75 hard is? That's when you that's when you should have got up and you said, screw it. And you do it and did your outside workout. And you get home 45 minutes later and then you get ready for bed and you go to bed. That's what this is about.
Give her this story, Sammy. Day 62 or 3, I believe, of my 75 hard run. I'm taking my 4 young kids, my wife, to Florida for spring break. Our flight on the way to Detroit, in midair, we learned that our flight to Florida is getting canceled. So we had our kids up at 5 a.m. to get to the airport at 7, or I should say be, on the flight at 7. Get to Detroit, our flight's canceled. We can't get into the next day. I had to move it from South Florida to Orlando. Otherwise, they couldn't get us into the next evening. Had to switch the car around. Had to find a hotel for us to stay at in Detroit, which luckily we were able to stay at the airport hotel. The Westin there was really nice. But then after I get all that settled, then I have to go find our luggage. Oh, that caught a flight to Florida, but we didn't. So we got no luggage. We got the clothes on our back. I got 4 young kids in tote. And I got to get 2 workouts in, stick to a diet. I had already done my reading and get my water intake, stuff of that nature. But it was the 2 workouts were the big thing. But I had the clothes that were on when I was packed to go to Florida, and Detroit was 15 degrees.
Oh.
So start planning after I got all the air stuff figured out. I'm like, all right, we got to Uber. We got lunch. Got to Uber to Target and get some clothes. Dropped, I think, $500-600 at Target because I had to get 2 outfits, winter clothes, to go outside and work out in a big heavy coat, and it was below 0 with the wind chill. I'm walking around the 4th floor of a parking ramp, going up and down stairs, and walking around for 45 minutes at the Detroit airport. And then I did my second indoor workout. I think that was like 4 p.m. and I did my second indoor one around 9 p.m. And then I donated all those clothes. I told the manager, I said, hey, I'm not bringing all this crap to Florida. Please give these clothes to someone in need.
There you go.
But I mean, that's what she needs, is like, your question was spot on. Is like, I was at day 62, I'm like, or 63, whatever it was. And I'm like, I'm not fucking this up now.
Oh yeah.
Like, no, and that's what 75 hard teaches you. But even if I was 3 weeks in, I was like, I got, a long way to go. I don't want to have to start over. So it gets you into whatever it takes mentality.
Yeah. Yep. And again, just be accountable. I say this all the time, and it's so true. The hardest thing we do in our life, the absolute hardest thing we do in our life, is be honest with ourselves. Mm-hmm. Because we have to do that. Nobody hears us but us. So and that's what I wanted her to do last night. Be honest with yourself. And she was. And today she messaged me excuse me. She messaged me. She said, I got my workout in. I got this. I got that. All I got left is workout number 2, and I've got it scheduled. And I was like, awesome. Cool. So yeah, no, that, so you made it to Florida and everything went good then, right?
Well, I made it to Florida. You're right. Then I had to drive 2.5 hours from Orlando to South Florida. We were going to West Palm Beach area, and then got the 2 workouts in that day, and was able. And right, you get to Florida, and like the only thing I wanted to do was have a drink in my hand at the pool. Like that was like at that point, I'm like, someone give me a drink, but that wasn't part of the program. So I got a sparkling water, had my book, and watched the kids, really enjoy themselves, and got my couple workouts in the whole time. I mean, it worked out great. But bottom line is, whatever it takes.
No, that's awesome, dude. Awesome. Well, Josh, I can't thank you enough for coming on here, man. This has been very educational for me. Plus, got a lot of great stories. I look forward to when this retreat kicks off. So I'm hoping
man, me too.
Yeah, when it does, man, you let me know, and I will share it out to all my viewers, everybody. Because
I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, that'll be an awesome thing. And you're doing it right. I think that's the big part. You're not just jumping into it. You're trying to do it right. And I think it's going to turn out and be awesome. So
my mom always told me, thank you. My mom always told me patience is a virtue. I hadn't always listened to her in life, but kids are teaching me that.
Yes. So Josh, if people want to reach out to you, touch base with you, get a hold of you on your coaching, the leadership, how do they do that?
Well, right now going through, as I told you, pre-show branding and website, overhaul after what happened to me last year. So the best thing I can say right now is follow me on social media. All my social media handles are at Josh Kosnick. So at JoshKosnick, just like my name there on the screen. And that's all my social media handles, and would love to have you part of the community.
Awesome. Well, dude, that's all I got. Thank you again. I appreciate your time, and continue.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, continue your greatness, buddy.